Good morning. It is Monday, 26th of January. 2026. The smile you see is a man who climbed the sports mountain. I wish Jason was here. I do feel sorry for the Broncos, but I digress. A man that has climbed the sports mountain this year with his team. I wish I was in Seattle, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But Seattle Seahawks headed to the Super Bowl. They punched their ticket, beating the Rams yesterday in a great game. Both teams, and in fact, I told my wife, because I've been a Matthew Stafford fan for a long time, told my wife, if the Rams win, I'm cheering for the Rams, which I would normally not do, but was totally pumped for the Seahawks winning. Matthew Stafford, though, is his window closing? And I think that's a lot of people talking about that. Is this, he had an MVP type season. Guy's fantastic. He got guts. He's just he's a brilliant quarterback, but he's the window closing and kind of one of those things. Seahawks get to see New England, and immediately it was like literally the game ended, and my buddy, who is a big Patriots fan, calls me and goes, "You ready for part two?" And we are. I think that Pete Carroll right now is smiling wherever Pete Carroll is, going, "We have a chance to run the ball this time, Pete." No, Pete's. And that's kind of a sad thing. You talk about in life, Pete was a great coach. I love Pete Carroll. Had a chance to meet him just briefly one time, and just super neat dude. But Pete Carroll, it was time for a change. It was time for the Seahawks to move forward, to kind of make that change. I don't think the team was listening to Pete anymore. And Seahawks going to the Super Bowl is going to be a great game. Already talked to my wife. We will be having all kinds of snacks because that is the way it should be. And we're gonna watch the game. I'm one of those nervous watchers though, because I stand. I am one of those guys. I literally stand, and I think I stood most of the third and the end of the third quarter and all of the fourth quarter. I stood the whole time. Don't know why. I think it's nervous energy. I can't tell you what it really is, but yeah, it was an incredible time. Seahawks headed to the Super Bowl. Hey, listen, I want to thank the great folks at My Snackies. It's my-snackies.com. Our look in camera. We are back in Gatlinburg, and the reason I picked it, just because it looked cool. Honestly, we did Gatlinburg last week, but I saw this come up. A little bit of snow, looks kind of cool. If you've never been to Gatlinburg, you need to go. It's super fun. Same thing. The whole Pigeon Forge Gatlinburg area is just super fun. Great place to go hang out. Thanks to great folks at my-snackies.com. And the look-in cam is there's a little sun there. It looks cold. It does. Smoky Mountains. I will tell you, I've never been there in January. I've been there in November when it snowed, though, and had to go buy a hat, gloves, and a scarf. And then the next year, because I didn't learn and I didn't bring my winter coat, I had to go buy a coat. Not that I had a winter coat, because I lived in Seattle. We don't believe really in winter coats, but I had to buy something to keep myself warm. It is good to be here. It's Mondays with Molly coming up in just a little bit, but key thing, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, today is National Bubble Wrap Day. I'm excited. I got to be honest with you. Super pumped. Going to be cool. I saved some bubble wrap. I don't know if it's just because when I was a kid, that was like super exciting thing, but yes, I have some bubble wrap later today. We'll be celebrating. Do you celebrate? Or are you one of those people? And I I have relatives who are this way. Are you one of those people that are annoyed by people who pop bubble wrap? I don't know. I think that would be a tough job for me, by the way. It would be tough for me to work there and not be able to pop the bubble wrap. I'd be like, I can do this. And it's like so plentiful. It would be difficult. Hey, I want to thank the great folks at 7 Weeks Coffee. That's 7weekscoffee.com. 7 Weeks Coffee. Now, listen, I've talked about it a little bit, but I really haven't touched on some of the things, the reason why I like 7 Weeks Coffee. It's quality, it's fresh, and it's small batch. Now, listen, if you've never experienced small batch coffee before, you're missing out. And you need to do this. If you're truly a coffee lover, and everybody nowadays says they're a coffee lover, but to be a true coffee lover, I think to be like a real core coffee lover, you got to be able to drink the coffee without creamer. Now, I just came off the 21-day fast. We do the Daniel fast with my church, did 21 days without any sugar at all. And I will tell you that I usually put some creamer in my coffee. I did not have to do that with 7 Weeks Coffee. Not that I would have been able to anyway, because it was part of my fast. So I appreciate them so very much for creating smooth blend coffee. It's 7 Weeks Coffee. Go to 7weekscoffee.com. Use the promo code ATV10 when you order. We appreciate it. They appreciate it. My wife found them about a year ago. And it was one of those things. Now, I love dark roast coffee. Now, dark roast, usually you need a little bit of creamer with it. But in this case, you don't. It's how smooth it is. My recommendation, buy the variety pack. Get all 4 kinds. Their main 4 kinds. It's small batch roasted coffee at its best. 7 Weeks Coffee. That's 7weekscoffee.com. Use the promo code ATV10. It's Mondays with Molly. We'll do that after this.
Behind every precious life, there was a choice. Behind every family moment, behind every special memory, there was a choice. A life of joy. A life that is beautifully and wonderfully made. At 7 Weeks Coffee, we are funding the pro-life movement, 1 cup at a time. Will you let your coffee serve a greater purpose?
Seven Weeks Coffee, 7weekscoffee.com, and use the promo code ATV10. That's ATV10, and get your coffee today. It's amazing coffee. It's Mondays, which means it's time for Mondays with Molly. Good Monday morning. It's crazy to think, and now, of course, and I want to thank Jody again. He filled in last time you were on. It wasn't the same. I watched a little of it when my internet came back on, and we had a really strong discussion with the folks at Spectrum, and got everything all worked out. And yes, it was about a 3-week process to get everything all together. Oh yes. And we went very, very, very strong with what we put in to make sure that we don't have that problem again. But I got to ask you a question. Do you like popping the bubble wrap?
Do I like, who doesn't? I mean, it's like,
there are people that don't. No, seriously.
Like the small ones, the big ones. There's like, I mean, yes, like I don't do it all the time, but if it's around, I'm definitely popping the bubbles.
Can you imagine working at a factory that produces that stuff? Like just lunch break would be like crack.
They're probably
people
over it.
Yeah, no, I mean, because I have friends who work in the ice cream industry and they're not over ice cream.
Ice cream bubble wrap. Ooh, I mean, it's not really apples to apples there, but I hear
it's not. But it was the best analogy I could come up with on this non-scripted show. So don't.
He says bubble wrap and ice cream are comparable. Got it. Noted.
Yeah, it's not the same, but it's close. It's both things that you have an impulse to do.
This is
I
true.
was
Eat ice cream, pop bubbles. I mean, I'm there right there with you. I've never made the parallel, but why not? Why not on this Monday?
It would be awesome to eat ice cream and pop some bubble wrap. I think that would be like, maybe I'm going to ask for that for my birthday. I
So
don't know.
Rob's
That's
gonna
gonna be
have an ice cream in one hand and bubbles under his feet and just like, eating ice cream and popping
stomping them
bubbles.
while I'm eating the bubble wrap. Eating the bubble wrap. Yeah, exactly. So how are things going? I want to ask you this, because this is something that I've dealt with and we talked with before the holiday break, is how are your plans for 2026 coming? Because I don't like to do
Mhm.
resolutions, because
Uh-uh.
it's a fail thing right away. You're
Yes.
immediately going to fail if you do, I'm going to do this every day. And, it's just not realistic. But how is for you your 2026 going?
So my 2026 started with a slightly different plan, and then within 1 week into the new year, switched to a bigger and better plan. And now that is launching forth in my coaching business. I thought I was going to launch a membership because so many people are wanting community. Like community is just like, let's gather not just like-minded but mission-minded people. But the Lord's called me to really cater to those that are in like the high caliber professionals, because those groups get smaller and smaller. And he birthed a new thing called the Aligned and Assigned Inner Circle, which is for high caliber women to really guide them to refine their voice, dig deeper into stewardship, to really steward really all the things that they have, because the responsibility is so great. And so for women that are 6 to 8 figure business owners, that wasn't on my bingo card for 2026. And when the download came, it's from the Lord, because within 3 to 4 days, the whole thing was mapped out and in motion. And I was like, only you. And so it was not only like are the same things that I still have on my goal to-do list, if you will, for this year still going. He's amplifying them, because I'm just like, what do you want, Lord? Like every day, what do you want? And he'll change it if you let him. So mine are off and charging in very new directions, but very exciting nonetheless.
So let's say, because I've had a really good start to the year. Just got off we did our 21-day Daniel fast, and that always sets your mindset for the year,
Mhm.
and it's really good. And it taught me a couple things. One, I'm Sugar and I are not as good of friends as I thought we were. And I went, wow. I don't look like a Michelin man when I actually stop eating sugar for 21 days, and which is awesome. But no, but for a lot of people, let's talk about something. We didn't talk ahead of time, but I wanted to kind of get into this topic today.
Mhm.
Because for a lot of people, maybe the year started off rough, or maybe they are not at a point right now where any of their ideas or resolutions or whatever they had came to fruition. How do they restart? How do they get to that point, starting today? Say, hey, listen, I'm gonna plant my flag on the 26th of January and go from there. What would give everybody a couple pieces of advice?
Yes, I mean, the only thing that's separating you and your goals, or you from seeing other people, air quotes here, going after their goals, is just what they're telling themselves in their own mind. So if you're already telling yourself, oh, well, it's too late, I can't do this, then you're never going to do it. So what are you telling yourself? Because you're the one talking to yourself subconsciously, maybe not verbally every day. So it's like, and all throughout the day. So what you tell yourself matters. So are you telling yourself, like, okay, if I'm not where I want to be, what's one thing I can do today? Let's do that habit, and let's do it for a week, 2 weeks, and then it starts to stack. Now let's add another habit in there. So I call that habit stacking. But on top of that, it really just comes back to the mindset and what we're telling ourselves. So a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, okay, sounds good. Everybody's looking for the strategy, but the strategy and us telling or sharing different pieces with you that we've learned, the only reason that even comes to fruition is because we decided, hey, you know what? Like this year is an important year. This moment is an important moment. How can I steward it? How can I just get 1% better? Which I think that would probably be overall what you can cling to is look at getting 1% better every day, not 50, not 30, not 80, not 100, one. And that's just one change. So maybe you're telling yourself a certain thought. Some of my clients, some of my mentorship clients, where we start is what thoughts are you telling yourself that's getting you down, that's getting you in that rut? Go find a scripture to pair with that. So every time that thought comes up, put it on the lock screen of your phone, put it somewhere where you read it, and train yourself to renew your mind, because that's biblical, it's scriptural. But so often we just let the enemy get in there and just like run our minds with all these crazy thoughts, and then it just runs rampant like a wildfire. So that is the first place, because once you can train this to be like, no, 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 we're not going there, even though your thoughts want to, because it's used to it. We're retraining it to, let's think on things above, not below. How can we get there, not how we're already defeated? And I have to train myself too on that, where I'm like, okay, I'm already thinking of what can go wrong. Nope, not thinking that anymore. What will go right? What will be great? What will happen in my benefit and other people's benefit if I choose to do these things that I've set my mind to?
And see, I think a big thing that you said there is I think our words are so powerful. And the
Yes.
Bible talks about that. And so let's say there's somebody watching and they have really been tough on themselves. What is one thing that they should start speaking to? I've got one, but I'll let you go first. What is one thing that they should start speaking to themselves or speaking out loud? The Bible talks about our voice, hearing our, the voice that we have, and the psychological studies have shown that hearing our own voice reassures us of whatever it is that we're doing, or like, hey, listen, I'm really good at this, or whatever. And I say that about a lot of things. My wife laughs at me.
You
But,
do.
I do. I'm really good at this.
Not really. I mean, hey, you know what? Like, positive self-talk goes a long way. So a lot of people, what more people probably need is have grace for yourself. Say, you know what? I forgive me. I forgive me for the choice I've made, and let's make a better one. What is that? What does that look like? For the one who's maybe the more of the driver, like somebody like myself, I kind of just nip it in the bud and I go, when are you going to stop telling yourself that story? Because we can sit there and wallow and have pity, but we also need to have grace for ourselves. Look, it's okay. We can get back up again. But then when are we going to stop telling ourselves that story? Because if we just keep going around the same mountain, we're going to keep circling the same mountain. It feels like, man, it's going to be the same year as last year, the same year as the year before, but it doesn't have to be.
That's it. So give everybody a piece of advice, and I've got one. But give everybody a piece of advice that feels like they've already lost this year, that because they failed early on. But give them a piece of advice, and then I'll give mine.
Oh gosh, one piece of advice. I mean, we're so early in the year. Even if it was December 20, what is it? The 26th, December 26th, you still have time. Like, you still have time. Don't look at the calendar of like, oh, I'm late and I'm losing time, I'm losing steam. Don't look at the day of like, oh, the clock's already ran out. This is where we can be able to be like, okay, what time am I going to set myself, or what time am I going to set aside to really work on me or work on my goals? So it's never too late. We see time and time again in scripture. It's never too late. No one was ever too far gone. Murderers, adulterers, like sinners of all kinds. Like, God he uses so many different types of people, and they failed so many times, but they got back up, and some didn't. Just be the one that gets back up. You have, and then surround yourself with people who are getting back up. If you're surrounding yourself with people who are not, then you're likely going to stay in that camp. Get out of that camp. It's not worth being in.
And I would say this: if comparison is the killer, because you compare yourself, and I do this, and my wife has to remind me that it's not a good thing. But I'll be like, they're doing this, I could do that. Why didn't I get to do that? And here's the thing: shut out all that noise. Take 5 minutes every day. If you're a Christian, especially, and you're watching this, take that 5 minutes and pray, and also really take one habit a month. This is something that I worked on a few years ago, and I took one habit a month. So I started reading for 5 minutes, or doing something 5 minutes every day, and made that new habit for that month. And then you stack those habits together. Or if you say, hey, listen, I'm going to, every Monday morning, I'm going to answer all the emails that stacked up over the weekend. And you start practicing that, and it then becomes not just a practice for the first month, it then by month 3 is a habit, and you're creating new habits. Because I think that this, and Molly can talk on this, I really think that people that are successful versus people that are not, it has nothing to do with any break other than consistency. It's It's not your financial situation. It's not that someone's smarter than you. I think that the biggest thing I learned over the last probably 20 years of my life is consistency, because I'm definitely not the smartest person in the room ever, unless I'm there by myself, and then I question it even then. But is consistency. It's doing the things that are not easy to do.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I want consistency should probably be my middle name, and it was a choice. I wasn't born with it. It was a choice of what do I want? How do I go get it? And then what do I need to be consistent in? My relationship with the Lord, if I wanted to go deeper, be consistent being in his word and his presence. If I want to have a fitness goal, which I have been through a collegiate athlete on and on, I've continued my fitness journey because I want to steward my body so I have energy and strength. I'm in the kitchen. I have these women at the gym. They're like, "How are you so skinny?" Or "What do you do?" They're Asian, obviously. Sorry, I end up getting into the accent, but they're like, "Why are you so skinny? What do you do?" I'm like, "It's what you eat. Like I drink a lot of water. It's what I eat. High protein. But when I want to splurge, oh, I will splurge. Like it'll happen." So there are things where I'm like, what patterns, what habits, and then what thoughts. And I was actually thinking this the other day because I've been so consistent. There are times my mind doesn't want to do it, but my body's in motion and my body will actually carry me through because it's just in habit mode. And I'm like, wow, how powerful is that? Like normally it's our mind telling our body, hey, we need to do something, but my body's been doing something for so long. It's like, no, this is like we're used to this. Let's keep going. So you will train yourself what your standard is. You will train yourself like what it is that you want to do. We just have to have the strength, right? And even ask the Holy Spirit. There's some times where I'm like, I don't know. I just don't know. Show me. And I have a hunger of like, I want to learn, show me, because I don't want to rely on my own strength or my own pride, of course, all of that. So consistency is huge for anybody. The only reason somebody that you see the comparison, like you said, it is a killer. And if you see people that you admire, you're like, wow, this is amazing what they've built. They've just been consistent for so long and have planted so many seeds. A harvest will be yet to like come to fruition because of that.
And I think it's hard. I heard a Christian speaker talk about this. When you're comparing yourself to others, because I do this is why this one's big for me. I'm a comparison person because I'm very competitive. Like if there's a leaderboard and if I'm not number one, there's something wrong and I will stay up and figure it out. It's why sometimes in the middle of the night, if it's a social media thing, you'll find me at 3:00 in the morning up and you'll see me active because I'm trying to figure out how to successfully do whatever it is so that I can be number one. But I also heard this speaker a couple of years ago, and he said, when you compare yourself, you're taking away the gift that God gave you because your gift and your gifting is different than the person you're admiring. And that one hit me.
Yeah, I mean, Rob, you were great at a lot of things. You know, like you said earlier, you said training yourself to get into the emails. I'm getting a lot more email replies back from you. Because I'm like,
See, I'm trying.
I see the fruit, but you're so right. We all may have, maybe it's in the same vicinity or industry, but there's specific things of how we do it, what we say, how we approach it that will speak to other people. And that's so beautiful because it's like, it's like a thumbprint, a fingerprint. It's unique to everyone. We all have one, but none are the same. So it's beautiful what you said. Like we all have something unique. Believe in that. Ask for more of it for it to be revealed to you and just march forward. Doesn't mean you know everything. Everybody wants to know, but that's never going to happen as far as knowing all the things ever.
Okay, before we get out of here, Molly, our motivation for the week. What's the one thing we should work on this week?
I would say out of everything we just talked about, 1% better every day. What are you going to do 1% better? Maybe it's replacing that thought with a scripture. Maybe it's, and then from there, getting into an action. And then just keep up with that, whether you're just focusing on that one for a couple of weeks, a month, but then keep compounding on that and just go after it. Because like you said, after a while, after 90 days, it becomes a habit. So it's no longer something you have to remind yourself. But if you do, I mean, the amount of reminders I have dinging on my phone on a daily basis, basic stuff, just to make sure I do it because I want to do it that bad. Don't be ashamed. My husband's like, why do you have so many ringers going off? I'm like, well, I'm trying to create new habits. So I just want to make sure that I am reminded because our brain squirrels off. So we got to
Oh,
retrain it.
completely. Oh, completely. Hey, it's Mondays with Molly. Check out her article on the website at abundanttv.com. Molly, great to have you with us again.
Thanks for having me.
U.S. Christian Chamber of Commerce event coming up. The Yes event coming up in April. And man, that's going to be a great event. We, of course, had Crystal Parker on the show. We're going to have her on again before the event to talk about that. If you're a Christian business person and want to get involved with the U.S. Christian Chamber of Commerce, super easy. Just go to their website and check them out. You know, I was thinking about this because it's our time of year. My wife and I were planning a couple things. We're going to be in Nashville in about 2.5-3 weeks now, and super excited about that. But we love planning travel, and so our final thought today, we're going to talk about travel and the number one trend for 2026. Interestingly enough, small towns. And you know what else is super funny about that? Small towns in the Midwest. I live in the Midwest and I live in a small town, but to be honest with you, I have no idea what you'd want to do. Now, you could travel like a half hour and be in a big town, but in our small town, there's really not a lot to come here for. I'm going to be completely honest with you. And as much as I love my little town and the mayor that is here in our town, I'm going 30 minutes and I'm going to be in a big city. Yeah, that's it. That's pretty much all that on that. I don't know. It just, to me, yeah, that's it. But the interesting also trend, two couple of trends released over the weekend about travel. Second one is faith-based travel. People traveling with a purpose, which I thought was super interesting, kind of fascinating, where people are going to places where they can then feel connected, or it's not really a missions trip as much as just going somewhere where they're connected in faith, whether that be to conferences or things like that. So yeah, I find that to be super fascinating because that is a new trend. And actually that's what they said. I never showed up in the travel studies before. First time that it has shown up. That's neat. We should probably do an abundant conference so you guys can all come and hang out with us. I think that would be fun. My thanks to Molly for being with us. Man, that was fun. Mondays with Molly. And we talked motivation. What's going to get you started for this week? It's Monday. Time to get all that stuff going and get ready. And I'll tell you this, if you're in the Midwest, stay in, stay warm, and stay safe. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this has been your Monday break.